Going live. It says we're going live. It says we're live. Are we live? Is the mic good? Mike, is the mic hot? Do we have a hot mic? Hello and welcome, everybody. Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. I hope you are doing great. A little more chill today, a little more chill. Don't really have nothing on the mind, except I was thinking about Menards. I was thinking about Papa Tony. You should always check him out. Tony's Garage Door Service on YouTube. And yeah, so you guys are more welcome. If you got anything off topic, chime in. Let me know where you're from. Let me know the weather. Let me problems, concerns, business, anything. I do the lives are pretty much a free for all. Sometimes I get sparked up on certain topics, which is good. Don't forget to hit the like button if you're cruising through. It just helps wake up the algo, brings more people in, all that good stuff. Thank you for being here. So I was thinking about, and I've done this too. And so I'd like to bring this up a little bit. Has anybody used the box stores a little bit? There was a point. Now, I'm not saying it depends on the level, right? The level you're at in your business. Everybody's levels are different. Everybody's outcomes and wishes and dreams and income and demographics and all that change, right? But using the box store. So Papa Tony, he ends up uses them sometimes, where what he'll do is he will actually go to Menards, which I've thought about this, and I'd like to talk to him a little bit more. I need a little more details. I thought maybe he did some extension rings, but if you go like 16x7 or even 9x7, in my opinion, the small doors aren't so bad. The bigger doors suck. Do not do extension springs. The door will walk. It'll walk on you if you try to put an opener, even if you're doing it by hand. I pretty much walk away. I can't even think of one situation where I say, oh, I got to do extension springs. That's the way, except for maybe I was in a pinch and I didn't want to convert it. I was doing it for the customer. They ordered it that way. I showed up. I was just doing labor only. And I said, fudge it. I said, I will do it. I don't want to do it, but I'll do it. And I'm not going to charge, or I know they don't have the extra money, or they don't even have a pot to pee in. So what it is if you keep some hardware, right? Now, he was saying something maybe about like a Hondo. I think you're probably more 150, 200 bucks to add some extra features, maybe a solid shaft. So I'd probably order it with the easy set. It's too bad you can't use the torsion tube they come with. I think you could have the piece together, but you need spring pads to mount, right? Normally there's only a spring pad in the middle, not in the sides. Where if you had ones on the sides, or if it was a full header, which typically doesn't always happen, maybe shim a board in there, then you could just mount your springs. You can wide them out and do regular torsion spring. Because the easy set is a little bit goofy. If you don't know, I don't really have a big bash against it, but if you can use, which, I don't know if I asked Mr. PT if he's ended up spraying the inside of those tubes, or if he has squeaky, but I don't think he's not using the easy set. I think he's converting them to torsion, which is not a bad idea. So I see Evan's in the house. What's up, Evan? What you got? How'd you probably haven't got the spring, of course, for that one. Did you go out and measure that spring? This one, or did the customer measure? I'm just curious. And for the MyQ, I've never done the MyQ gears. I'm assuming they're saying this. They don't have the spindle on the end for the mechanical gears. I'm assuming, but it'd be interesting. Let me know. I think you lucked out, man. I'm telling you too on that one. I don't know how the 225 got away with it. Sometimes that works that way. Sometimes they should have been a little hotter spring from the get-go. Let's see here. I feel like this mic's right in my nose. I measured the spring this time. Oh, snap. I gotta ask, Mr. Evan, how far away is this one way from the location? Are we doing an hour and a half drive? I'm just curious. Let me check something here. Gotta make sure this thing's on the old silent. Otherwise, there'll be jingling away. Perfect. Oh man, can't beat that. It's 2 minutes away from my house. Oh my gosh. Hoorah, hoorah, right? Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome. That is great. I'm so happy. Like I said, I'm I'm thinking I'm going to make some shirts. It's going to be we're going to do a 5 mile famous, and then we're going to do long distance, or are you a long distant loser? Are you 5 mile famous, or are you a long distance loser? That's the new phrase, baby. That's the new phrase. We got the one from SOS, and then we got the long distance. I think Rusty kind of mentioned it. I think we were thinking it, but I think Rusty kind of put it up there. That's right. Rich B's got 5 mile famous. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I think I want to make a shirt. It says, the 5 mile famous, or are you a long distant loser? Loser. What was this? Oh, that's what they used to do in school, right? Loser. I know those feelings. I've been there a few times, unfortunately. Rich B, what's anything new out there? You got anything in the pipeline coming up? I know we were chatting a little bit. We kind of talked about, and you guys should let me know in your area too what you think what the economy's doing. Are you kind of super busy? It's kind of mediocre. It's kind of, I'm interested to know. Let's see if I can move this mic a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. That way I can see the comments. 3 likes, by the way. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. If you're cruising through, please hit the like button. It just helps bring more wonderful people in. And it says, I'll go about an hour away for a job if it's worth it. Ooh, if it's worth it. Yeah, I don't really know what really makes it. I don't hear too many people talk about it, but I don't know what really makes it worth it. I find there's too many problems. For me, my first thought is I need a triple. Because there's just so many variables. If your vehicle breaks down, do you think the tow truck driver gives a rat's ass that he's got to come an hour that way to pick up your vehicle and then bring it an hour back? Hell no, he's going to charge for it, right? So I mean, there's the layout of stores are different. Like if you're using box stores, you got to run and grab something, nuts and bolts. The worst one, been there, done it many times. I've done this a million times, honestly. It feels like you go there, you forgot something. Woohoo. So now do you got a runner? Can you call mom? Can you call dad? Can you call the girlfriend? Can you call the wife? Grandma, grandpa? Hey, can you go in my garage and where the flux capacitor is in the time machine? Yeah, it's like in the back. Yeah, around the corner, you know what I mean? Y'all been there, right? And then it's like I don't know where it's at. Oh, can you FaceTime me? My camera's broke. Oh man, where if you could just run back 5-10 minutes away, run back, grab it, you know where it's at, grab what you need. Or the famous one, right? The fun one is that you leave something behind. I've mentioned this before. Cap was the one that thought of it. You obviously pull your keys out. He's got one of those carabiners. And if you leave your battery charger in a weird spot, outside the door in the back or in a breezeway or something, right? Or on a desk or a toolbox or something, you take your keys, you clip it on there. Excuse me. And that way you can't leave, right? Until you get that battery charger. Because batteries nowadays, especially if you buy the 5 amp or the bigger batteries, are getting very expensive. So, and any power tool, right? Any power tool or tools, right? You leave a Sawzall, something. That's why, tools up in the header. I'm probably the only one that I've also left jobs. And for some reason, it's always the J arm. I always forget to tighten the nuts on the J arm, the 2 nuts for the J. And I'll be like driving down the road and it's like, turn up the radio and it's like, ooh. Did I tighten those nuts down? I tightened them down. I don't remember tightening them down. I had to tighten them down. Did I tighten them down? I don't know if I tightened them down, you know. And now you're half an hour away, you know what I mean? And it's like, maybe I should call them. Nah, it's got split washers on it. It'll be fine. I hand tightened them. They shouldn't come loose. They could come loose. What if they do come loose? Well, a couple nuts and bolts fall. J-arm will come apart. That's not the end of the world, Lee. So did I tighten the bolts on the back hangs? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, did I? Tony's in the house, just a man we needed to talk to. Richie says no one call tomorrow. Broken cable. No one call tomorrow. He says broken cable on operator. Broken cable on an operator. That's called replace. How do you like those ones have bit me pretty hard. If they get the half chain, like the half chain and half cable, man, those are I mean, I forget which the one was. I was like, oh no big deal. I could just like, no, you can't. I had to like I had to put a splice in. And then I found out that the splice almost runs into the opener or can't go around. It can't go around the pulley. That's what it is. I wasted so much time on that one time. I was like, forget this. I'm never doing this. And I'm not gonna go like there's I don't know. I'm ranting. Um what's big dog? Tony, you have a good day? It was nice and warm today. We finally got up in the 40s today. It was a heat wave, tropical heat wave. Oh, Evans guys has got a window chip on says on the spring job last Saturday. He says pissed me off. Oh, he says haven't made a payment yet. Hey man, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you know how it is. You know I love you, Evan. But the whole new vehicle thing, man. That's always like it's like I'm telling you, I don't know it. It's like the damn shoes when you're in school. I'm telling you, get brand new sneakers and somebody steps on them. It's like what the and a brand new vehicle. I think it hurts the worst, And I mean, I got an old beater, and I still don't like. I still park far away, and I don't like people dinging. I had somebody at that kids event over the weekend. Big SUV, right? Her door is right against mine. She didn't ding it, but it was rubbing, and she was getting in the car. I could watch it going up and down, and I'm like, lady, you should have picked a different spot. You're in a really tight spot for a big SUV, and it just never fails. It never fails. You know what I mean? And that's a great point. That's almost a good point right there. Like I'm glad Evan brung it up because guess what? It's the same thing, right? More time on the road, more time for casualties, more time for problems, more time for a strap to break and lose a piece of angle or a section or a garage door, or you hit a bump and maybe you had the trailer, you didn't have the latch down. Done that before. Didn't lose one, but I didn't have a latch. Luckily, I had enough tongue pressure. And, you get to there, right? And if it was far, far away, you might go over railroad tracks, you might go over a big bump. It's just more time. More time on the road is more no good. No good, far as I'm concerned, especially when you got to drive like in rush hour traffic and the people. Oh, I finally heard somebody mention it the other day, and I'm assuming I'm the only weirdo that does it. But we were going to the one job we were the long distant losers. That's another video coming out down the road here, and so you still have to stay tuned. And anywho, we pushed the time instead of being there at 9 because it's far away. I pushed it to 10 because I knew in the morning I still had to get parts and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. I was like, this is way different. I was like, I could tell that there just wasn't as many crazy people on the road. You know what I mean? Because, you figure people normally got to be at work at 8. Then there's the people like some of the bankers and office people, they got to be at work at 9. Right. So we're cruising around between 9 and 10 heading to the job. Traffic is great. And then I could go up to about 3:30. If you started hitting about 4 o'clock to that 4 to 5, the city that we were in was busy, 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 busy. I mean, you're sitting in like 2 to 3 miles of just traffic stopped. Oh, and then you get on the highway and it's stopped. Oh. So, and it's like it's just like you can't go whipping down a back road to get where you got to go, right? You got to go down these main trunks to get where you want to go. Otherwise, you got a whole bunch of dirt roads and stuff. So, not much fun. Oh, Evan says, yeah, he says I went 6 years with the Kia without window chip or crack. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. It's it's a magnet. It's a magnet. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. My wife's car was like that. I'm telling you that service van. I bought that service van brand new. Like I said, couldn't believe it. Only got 300 miles on it. Drive it up to a place. Like I said, nice garage, concrete. They do wraps. It's up there for a couple weeks. Guy does the wrap right. I drive it back. I get halfway down the highway, and I get the alternator light on. I'm like, what in the fudge. I'm like, how can this be? I'm like, I bought a brand new car, so it would not be in the shop. And I'm so excited for the guy that's going to use it, because his van's getting pretty all worn out and stuff. So you call the dealership, go over there, boom, get rear-ended. And, then you take it to the dealership, right? And we're just slammed. We're just slammed with work. Dealership calls, they want like 800 or something like that to repair it. Like it needs, a mouse was chewed it. I'm like, a mouse? I'm like, are you serious? You're messing with me. And they're like, no, a mouse chewed the wire. It's going to be like $800. My uncle's over there like, didn't have they figured out what to make wires out of so mice don't chew it? No, you need to watch a little more YouTube. Obviously not, because now they make it out of soy wire. Bull crap. And so I told him, I said, I don't know. I said, I got to call my other mechanic. I said, well, let me talk to my service writer. He comes back. We could probably do it for 600, my time. I got this customer. I got to be at this job. I got this. I don't have time to take this to my mechanic. My mechanic's going to probably take 2 to 3 days or 6 days. It's already there. They can have it pretty much done and ready by. Yeah, fine. $600. Yeah, let's just do it. Freaking just bought a brand new goddamn fan. Yeah, and it just got rear-ended. It's not going to put a bumper on it, or no, not a bumper. I had to put a hitch. The hitch bent, and so now it's just like, when's this thing going to be on the road? But I bought the next one, same year, just had 20 or 30 miles on it, 30,000. Not a problem. Everything went good. Took it into the outfitter, got it all outfitted, got the ladder rack put on it, stuff. Everything was fine, fine. But the new one, yeah, just gonna go down to get me some U-Haul trucks. I'm just gonna rent them out by the day, then go back for the weekend. They don't like that one. Tell me you don't like 22 sucks. Got bad heat. Tell me what 23. Get 23. Yeah, they're gonna do fleet in probably next year. Oh, it's Rich's guy says it's that cheap GM glass. Oh man, yeah, right. Uh, Evan says Rich B says I got cut off the freeway and his speed up window chipped. Oh man, bummer, bummer, bummer. So Tony, I was talking about you a little bit. I'm thinking about these Menards doors. Is there any secrets we can give people if you're still here? I know you're busy. There's dinner. It's getting close to dinner time. Um, we were talking like $100. Are you ordering them with the easy set springs, or are we just eliminating those? Because I think you're onto something. Because I always kind of thought about it. I thought, hey, if you can just use the box store, you can go in there. Now you got to watch for the damage because they're a little rough. But if it's close, instead of going to a vendor that's an hour away, it's just an idea. And if you have anything that you can put in too, what you're changing out, we should do this on live together. I can't onboard you on this thing. I know of, but I'm just keep thinking about this a little bit. I just want people to understand that there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can use those box stores because, like I said, the sections, hey, they're Clopay sections. It's just like if you went to Clopay, it's just I don't think the sections ever bother me. It's always the hardware, right? The hinges, the rollers, all that kind of stuff gets a little goofy. I did have Doug reach out to me today. I do have to mention Doug. It sounds like he does some heavy commercial stuff, and he said if I needed help, he would be willing to help, which I do appreciate because there are sometimes I need to phone a friend. Dun, 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 dun. What's Evan got? Might order doors from Lumberyard. They carry doors with torsion and torque master springs. Ooh, packages. Ooh, the packages. So is this Evan? Are these Wayne Dalton? Torque master. Are these Wayne Dalton? That just made my brain go pow because I remember I used to be big on the Menards. Or I'm sorry, not the Menards, the Wayne Dalton, because everything was packaged, and that was a glorious thing. I ain't gonna lie. With Steelcraft, they carry and Steelcraft, they carry doors. Huh. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I could tell you because there's a couple things I look at it as like a twofold. One, it's a lumber yard. So if you're hanging around the lumber yard, you might pick up some work, right? You're there, some contractors are coming in and out. They see you, they're like, "Hey, you do garage doors?" You're like, "Yeah, I do." You know what I mean? And since you're buying from the lumberyard, they might recommend you, which is always a good thing. And so here is something to think about. I don't know. I'm on the fence about this one. And I don't think I have too many Wayne Dalton boys here. Um, the Wayne Dalton, I did like the total packs. That's what they would call them, the total packs. And everything was in the box, man. Oh, did it make life sweet for the most part? All the hardware, everything, is quick turn brackets. Yeah, they're quick turn. But they were nice because you just basically have two sections, right? For a 16x7 door or 9x7, right? Everything was in the ends, all your hinges and rollers. The hinges are already attached. Yeah, they're 9,000 series doors. Yeah. So they're 9,000 series doors. But they worked nice for my subs. Everything was in there. And for the most part, typically everything was there that was supposed to be. I don't remember too many times those being off. Now, the other ones that had separate hardware boxes at the warehouse put together or something like that, yeah, we'd always be missing like a flag bracket or something. But the total packs, and like I said, it's just something I guess if you go down the 9,000 series doors are kind of okay. They're better than a blue tarp. Do, 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 do. Ah, Rich B's already got. They have the cheaper hinges. They do. They do. I think the only problem I really had with Wayne Dalton with those hinges is they seem like they're always stinking crooked. I could live with the hinges. What I always did is I'd actually flip the hinge up. I flip the hinge up. I have to use this hand because I use my left for my screw gun. I'd flip the hinge up. I'd push up on the hinge. I use the pointy, and I would pull the section like I'd put it in there at an angle to pull the section to keep it tight. Um, they worked. They worked. They're what do they always say? They're lumber grade. They're a lumber grade door. Lumber grade. Am I saying that right? Lumberyard grade door. That's how they would always tell us when we were selling them. So they always kind of had that impression, like they'd always say, like they'd be like, well, they're buying non-insulated doors, and I'm like, I know, but I'm like, you didn't grow up with a mom like mine. Didn't matter if it's not an insulated door. If it's got a dent or a scratch in it, she wants a whole new door. Like she paid 600, 1,200, whatever dollars. Don't matter. It could be $5, and you said it was going to be new. Damn it, she wants it to be new. So it's like you guys need to package your stuff a little better. So yeah, yeah, and the worst part was too, I think, is because when they stacked them, they do back to back because they got that built-in ribs. So the faces were really prone. You had to be careful how you set them down because they're almost like the metal they use is so thin with the foam. It's like they can dent real easy. And if they got any damage on the cardboard, it's like, nope, rip that puppy open right now and look and go, oh no, this one's got damage. We're not taking this. This is already a problem. Or you can do it, but then you got to switch it, and then it's a pain. So I don't know. I'm 50-50. Evan says Wayne Dalton and Steelcraft, they carry doors. I think Steelcraft, that's only for man doors, right? They don't make obviously garage doors. It's just like man doors. What's Evan got? Says it's not the same lumberyard that was reaching out regarding new builds. So not sure if that would be a problem. I don't think it would be. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it's like our town, I don't know, got 6 or whatever, 8 different lumber yards, right? And they don't have no problem. I mean, they're like you're not going to be what it is basically like these the lumber yards are always like you can't go in there, right? And you're like, "Hi, my name's Dave with Affordable Door and Gate. I do garage doors." Yes. And so, do you got garage doors? I'd love to do your garage door. I can do your garage doors. Like people are like, "Whoa, back the up, man, back up." Like these are people that are like, "Morning, you want coffee? It's over there. Help yourself." It's pretty good today. That's the mentality, right? Slow and it's methodic, and you can't just go in there once. It's got to be you're kind of coming in there and you're going to pass builders and stuff like that because they're going to be in there at certain times too. And maybe you try to aim for, hey, you know what? I know they come around 6 to 8 is when they're there or something or whatever. Or there could be just a person in there and they start recognizing who you are and your name and stuff, right? And there's a resi in there, a residential person doing something. They're like, hey, hey, John, you're doing a garage door, right? You're doing that pole bar. Do you have anybody install? Hey, Evan over here, he does it. Hey, you got a card? Give him a card. It's a very slow process. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't think it could be. It might not be bad. You might find out that they're. You just got to kind of watch the prices, um, because typically nobody's going to be at the box stores. And like I know one, um, it just happened to be. We started kicking it off. What it was that we were at the bar. We were doing lunch. Don't worry, we weren't drinking. We're doing lunch. The one guy that was the builder, he likes to whatever go there. That's fine. So we get service, everything. Well, anyways, the lumber guy. I knew the lumber guy that owns the lumber yard sitting right there. He's pretty hard to miss. He's got curly hair, and so we started talking. And then it didn't really. He wanted us to buy some garage doors that they couldn't sell. And I was like, we'll take a look, but I don't think you're gonna have anything we want. And then we did some stuff for his mom. She was going into an old home facility basically, and then the house was on the lake, and they were getting ready to sell it, so the gates and stuff needed attending. So we did all that. That was all cool. But the problem was is that uh, we're just not there, right? For us, we don't need them as a vendor. We don't, in a nutshell, we don't need the extra work in a sense from that kind of stuff. So it's just not a good fit. You know what I mean? For us, for what our demographic is. But for somebody starting out, somebody that's hungry, I think it's great because you can get into those. We do have a couple, and it started the one builder we've worked for. Um, I've dealt with him, and that started with at a gas station. He drove was it the 6.4 Power Stroke? I drove one. I walked over to him. I was like, "How you like your 6.4 Power Stroke?" He's like, "I hate it." He's like, "I already had to replace the engine." He's like, "Get rid of yours as soon as you can." I'm like, "What?" And then I think I don't know if we traded numbers or something like that, and we just kicked. You just never know where things go. And then we did garage doors for him for a long time. And he's always 6.4 is what we call him. His name's I won't say his name, but it starts with an M, so we call him M 6.4. Is looking for something. It's always in our system too. Uh, but he's upgraded. Don't worry, he's got a 6.7 now. He's got the big Power Stroke. He always has big trucks. He does the whole face of like dealerships. They got all that aluminum or beautiful looking glass and all that stuff. He does like the whole front remodels of like dealerships around Michigan. Steelcraft does garage doors in Canada. Oh, okay. Not sure if it's a different Steelcraft in the States. I'm still paying less than Menards, torsion, good hardware, nylon rollers, and delivery. 6x7. I'm under $1,000. Wow. Wow. Do they charge, Rich? Do they charge anything for delivery? Do they go up to like only like 20 miles or something? Or what do they charge? Normally, delivery is going to be, and I assume they're only bringing one door. One door. That's not bad. That's not bad. Can't beat that. And like I said, that's why it's like one of those things you really got to do. You got to do your own homework for where you live and where, for like us, We don't have nobody. It might be Amar that would deliver. You know what I mean? That would do something like that. 75 dollars. Shoot, man, 75 bucks. Heck yeah. Think about your time, an employee, a vehicle, everything, insurance, everything that adds up. 75 bucks is drop in the bucket. That's what they used to charge us for like I think they might have raised it a little bit, but not too much. We call it the spider that comes on the back of the semi. Um, for like when we lift gates off. And like big gates. I mean, we're talking, 20, 30, 40 foot long cantilever gates, 6 foot tall, heavy monsters. And I remember my vendor one time, I told him, I said, he goes, "Well, Dave," he goes, "they charge $75." And I said, "Jay," I was like, "Jay," I was like, "Dude," I was like, "put it on every order." I said, "Every time I order a gate from you, put it on there." I said, "The worst case, I got to call you and cancel it." So I said to not put it on there. I said, "But anytime you send me a stinking gate operator or a gate, you send the spider for $75. You know how like I can't even fathom like if I bring a piece of equipment to the job site, I have to rent it, I have to haul it, I have to maintain it, secure it, make sure it doesn't get stolen, make sure it doesn't flip off a vehicle and travel there and everything. Then I got to return it. And it cost me like at least $200 at least. So realistically, it's probably in my head with my time and everything. We're talking 300, 400 bucks. So for 75 bucks for you guys to bring the spider on the back of the semi to help unload whatever. And the best part is that if nobody's there, because that happens sometimes, they'll call, "Hey, the day got screwed up. Hey, we're showing up." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm at a job." I'm like, "Dude, are you good?" "Oh, I got the lift. I can get it off by myself." "Oh, sweet." "Hey, just put it around the corner or put it by the oak tree or whatever." You know what I mean? 75 bucks. That's right. Rich's guy, he says, "drop in the bucket." That's very true. And that's why I just love talking to some of the new guys. Some of you guys, even the veterans, it's good to hear. Sometimes we have to call around. Sometimes we have to just look outside the box. Just look outside the box, call around, check things, and you'll know, if stuff doesn't start fitting or feeling right, you got to walk away. You know what I mean? Find somebody else. There's a lot of options out there. Um, Everybody has way more options than when I first started out. Way more options. You got Amazon. You got more vendors. They're traveling farther. The trucks are better. They do online stuff. So it's just a matter of like I have no doubt. I haven't checked. Anybody check? Somebody needs to check. We need to check if Amazon sells doors yet because they're delivering like furniture. I know that. Like dresser type stuff. So, and on box trucks. So, what's stopping them from doing garage doors? Just saying. Just saying. They got so much money. So much money. They could probably get you a drone to like deliver the hardware box if they screw it up. You like call them, message them like, "You screwed up the hardware box. No problem. We'll have one out there in 20 minutes." Drop it down. That's right. Rich's guy, he goes, and driver puts them on the sawhorses. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Like I said, it's that stuff, man. I tell you, all that kind of stuff adds up. It's so nice. But the fact that you're getting them cheaper, heck, I'd even spend a little bit more money than what you get like at Menards for that kind of service. You know what I mean? If it was still another 50, 75 bucks, 100 bucks, I'd probably do it. Cause I mean, you know how it is. By the time you go into Menards and you got to talk to them and you got to go drive around the back or la di da di da, there's just all kinds of stuff that, you know, you got to do. You got to do. And all that it is time is money. Time is money. I really don't like any more. I don't want to put any more time in than I have to. Right. So whatever you find that's convenient for you, that works for you, that's local, dealerships, vendors, those are all key things. Do, do, do. Rich B's got, he says, winning. What's up, Morgan? I see Morgan jumped in. Let me read the comment here. Oh, what's Morgan got? Can you explain how to get a dealership? Company's not interested in my company because I'm new. Well, that's a good question. So my old sales lady in the WD, the Wayne Dalton, um, so she would tell me, I can't say this is 100% true, right? We got 4 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button too, by the way. So what it was is she said that everything is connected. She said that Wayne Dalton is actually connected with Clopay and Clopay is connected with Amar. Like they all talk. And so she was telling me that, you know, first of all, it started with she's like, if you screw one another company, it's going to be in a database somewhere, and we will know if you come to try to sign on with us. I was like, really interesting, very interesting. And I thought, why not? I mean, why not? Right? I mean, it's kind of like insurance, right? Insurance is in a database. I mean, insurance can pretty much see that you're in a car accident and you dropped your insurance because you're mad at them, and now you're trying to go find somebody else, and that you're a high risk, and everything's talking nowadays, right? I mean, it's just like it's like you're putting everything on the old Facebook. That's how it is. You know what I mean? It's just they got a back door to see the stuff. So if you find a reputable dealer, um, that stuff should be almost documented. So, like for instance, let's use Evan for an example. He goes to the lumber yard. And he starts buying these Wayne Dalton doors. Wayne Dalton's a credible dealer, right? You kind of got the major ones. Now, like Horman, I can't say for sure. Horman would make me. I don't know. I don't know. But I would just Horman's a little out there, right? But Amar, probably Clopay, Wayne Dalton, some of the big ones. Maybe who's another one? Raynard. Some of the big dogs nationwide. You're gonna get into, so like if you start buying, let's say from that lumber yard, and they're gonna see the numbers. It's gonna be on something. So realistically, you could ask at some point, be like, well, who's the Wayne Dalton sales rep? And they'd be like, oh, we deal with this one person, blah, blah, blah. And you might be able to get it from them, or you might be able to call Wayne Dalton behind, like you don't want to tell the lumberyard that you're basically going to take your business away from them because they're marking the doors up. But they could also be on an A, B, or C pricing, which they're getting better pricing. So you try to jump into the dealership right from the get-go, they might already get you on the lower, you might be paying more, is what I'm trying to say. But they're going to see that. So they're going to, if they're the lumberyards recording stuff using the internet, whatever online database, that stuff's being recorded. And that the salesperson could probably pull that up or find out and go, whoa, hey, this person's, because with these dealerships, and you sometimes all it takes is you just to be, maybe once a month, you check in. Hey, I just checking in. Because all it takes is somebody to retire also and a new person come in, right? And the new dog, right? He's like, I got this, man. I'm gonna make billions until he gets neutered. And he's gonna go out there and be like, I'm gonna sign up. He's gonna come home at night, babe. I just signed up 12 new accounts today. Yeah, your big daddy here, right? Well, those 12 new accounts he didn't pay attention to. And those are the nightmare accounts. Those are ones that never installed garage doors before. And those are the ones that are going to call and they're going to be like, I don't, like, I put the section on, the bottom seal goes towards the top, right? That's the seal. And they're like, you're going to warranty this, right? And they're like, I'm making commission. You know what I mean? I'm not warranting this. They're going to realize real quick, hey, I don't want to deal with this crap, these knuckleheads. So that's why sometimes the dealerships are a little bit more picky. I even know my old sales lady mentioned that she said she was sick of dealing with. So that's why sometimes I talk about, maybe depending on what you want to do, you don't have to do this by any means. There's so many other options to save money too. But if you were to lease a building, because she told me basically, she's, I'm sick of people working out of their house. She's like, I'm not signing up any more people that work out of their house. She says, I'm sick of the truck drivers trying to get down narrow driveways. I'm sick of truck drivers getting in the ditches. I'm sick of truck drivers hitting their bushes. I'm sick of truck drivers hitting their flowering trees or whatever, their apple trees and stuff like that. And I was just like, whoa, that's the stuff I kind of love. Like I was like, damn, I never thought about that. Where like at our shop, you know, it's a huge parking lot. I mean, they can swing around in there, they can sleep in there. We got more room to the west. There's plenty of room there. You know what I mean? So the whole ecosystem works really good, and we hardly ever call. Unless we had a real major problem. Our secretary, I shouldn't say the secretary, the vendor at the time there was awesome, right? Took very good care of us. We didn't even have to like send pictures or anything. It was like, hey, the bottom section is damaged. Okay, we'll send you another one. You know, um, so it takes time, and then you're going to find some dealers that are going to be um, they're going to be exclusive for certain areas, which is fine. And one thing I just want to bring it up just to mention, because I used to think I used to think the same thing, right? I used to think if I got in with a certain company that they were going to just make me, right? Make me millions, right? That was just, oh my gosh, as soon as we get in with this one, right? Because this is who they're using. Nah, not really normally. The only problems ever really would happen is that if you in your area, let's just say there's one garage door company in your area and you're competing and they've used since day one, they've used Clopay, let's just say. So everything around your town is Clopay. You know what I mean? And you only have one person to go to, which is either them or maybe another, maybe you don't, maybe you got to go to Home Depot or something. Um, that can be kind of inconvenient because you're not a Clopay dealer. So they're marking it up, blah, 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 right? But that's where your service has got to be phenomenal. Your service has got to go up, um, because people want how fast and how convenient it is to work with you. You answer your phone, maybe do an online something that's, your website's nice. You do what you say you're going to do. You're efficient, things like that. Certain people like that kind of stuff. So it just kind of weighs. Like for us, we got with Clopay at one time because I got sick of this one builder. We'd always be competing on price, and he'd be like, "Well," he's like, "You're using basically a 3/4 inch door that you're pricing me." He's like, "And theirs is inch and 3/8, so it's even a better R value, and they're still coming in cheaper." And I'm like, "Hmm." So I ended up getting with Clopay so I could get their pricing. So then it was like, "Well, here you go. Here's our pricing, and here you get your competition pricing, right?" And I'd be like, "Here's our prices now," and you can't say nothing. Now it's apples to apples, right? Versus so it just kind of. But looking back, if you're starting out and stuff like that, it's kind of silly. Like I said, most people, I think of it to this day, like I said, I still don't have people for I can't remember how many people we went to for the Lowe's jobs, and I just could not believe. I was waiting for somebody to come out there and be like, "Who that? Who are you?" I'd be like, "Oh, we're here to install a garage door. You're not with Lowe's. You're not driving a Lowe's truck. You don't have a Lowe's jacket on." We normally had to wear one piece of apparel, so the hats were the best. So we had like a hat on. We were supposed to put a sign out, which we did sometimes, in the yard, but nobody ever questioned it. It was like they already paid for it. They just want their stuff. That's all like matters. It's like I paid for something. I want it done. It's kind of like an oil change, right? I want my oil change. You don't go out and really maybe watch, right? Where's that oil? Where's that oil coming out of that hose? I want to go back to the barrel. No, it's just oil in, oil out. My car runs, put the cap back on it, give me my sticker, give me my free car wash, and have a nice day. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how garage doors kind of look at, to some degree. There's not very many. It's like 1%, it feels like, that's out there that really know their stuff, that are really like, oh, I gotta have, like I love, and it's only normally if they got matching something, like they got a 4-stall garage or a 2-stall, maybe you got to get something matched up. But most time you can get all that stuff online or a lumberyard. And if you got charged for it, you got charged. And so what? It's a one-off. I think of it as kind of like the U-Haul stuff, right? I keep thinking to myself, I try to even change my own mindset of like the airplanes, right? We don't want to own the airplanes, right? I don't want to pay for the pilot. I don't want to deal with the co-pilot. I don't want to deal with uh the people that feed you in the fridge and all that crap, right? I just want to fly the damn airplane. I just want to fly on it, take me where I got to go, and I want to go there fast, right? I don't want to spend 2 days in a car. I want to just spend 4 hours in an airplane, get there, get my luggage, get the hell out of there. So I think we're so programmed in society about everything, owning or the rights to or something, that we have to look at it just like the U-Haul, right? I just want to use it. I just want to use it, take it back. I don't care. I'm not going to wash it. I didn't abuse it, but I used it, and it's their problem. I don't have to insure it anymore. Um, So a garage door is kind of the same, just get something for them that they like, whatever, install it, find whoever works good for you locally, if it's a box store or a lumber yard, and whatever fits your motto, But like I said, don't be afraid to spend money at one of them because like I don't think you're gonna get anywhere with like probably like Home Depot, Lowe's, or Menards. I don't think they're going to track anything that I know of. I don't know, but like the lumber yards are kind of on our same level. Even here at Affordable North Gate, we're all kind of on like they know each other because when I've talked to salespeople, like, oh yeah, yeah, I know the one down there at that lumber yard, blah blah blah. They sell a lot of doors, and like for us with the Wayne Dalton, we were the biggest one at one point in this the west side of the state for theirs, and they like to give you little perks, you know what I mean? They want to keep you going. They put you on their website. Um, they give you eventually start getting you do the rebates. So good question. Good question. Got any more questions? Put them on in. That stuff I like talking about that stuff because I know when I was first starting out, I had no clue. Wayne Dalton. I met the guy. I called them. I met the guy. I remember um in a mall, and it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We met halfway. We met in the mall. We shook hands. He had some paperwork. He handed me the paperwork. I shined away, whatever, and boom, we were a vendor. And so my hat's off. My hat's off to Wayne Dalton. Wayne Dalton definitely has a soft spot in my heart. They're a good company. They just have glitches like everybody else, and they got some good stuff and they got some bad stuff. And they're like everybody else, just like car dealerships and everything else out there. There's some good cars or some bad cars, and but they were the first ones. And I don't remember where were we getting them before. Oh, we were with was it Gatco? Gatco. I think it was Gatco. Gatco slash Horman is who we were first with, and that seemed like it was through a lumberyard. No, they were bringing them to us direct, and then we were going to hook up with a person that was trying to do like a warehouse, and that just it's kind of funny thinking about this stuff because it's been so many years, because we were with another. It was me and my business partner. We were with another guy. We were going to join forces with, and I remember we were sitting there. The one other guy was a commercial, like realtor guy, and he was like, "Yeah, you guys can have this building down here. It's going to be like, we're talking like I'm sitting there doing the math, and I'm like, we're talking like, geez, we're talking like $10,000 a month in expenses here." They're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and I'm like, We don't have even like $10,000 of like revenue coming." Yeah, yeah, but we get this location, and it's not even on like a main busy road, and I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like I'm just going, I can't see us doing this. I was like, this like first get the customers, then the other stuff will follow. And I'm like, so we never did it. Good thing we didn't because it kind of went sour. And then with Gadco, I think I'm saying it right. Is it Gradco? Gradco. They're not around now. It's Horman. It was like Gradco slash Horman. We were dealing with that guy. And yeah, we worked with them for quite a while. They're okay. They were like a lumber yard door. You know what I mean? Nothing fancy. Got the job done. Tony says, "Good luck, Morgan." Yes, good luck. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Thank you, Tony and Morgan. They always ask how many doors. Oh, yes. I'm going to sell. I'm inherently honest and I don't know. Hopefully, a lot is a bad answer. Yeah, it's Investa. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you normally got to kind of snowball them a little bit because you gotta remember that these door companies or these dealers, they're the people. If you get if you get a hold of the salesperson, it's they're looking for commission, right? So that it's like I didn't even know this is how it works, right? This is something that's brutally honest, right? So when I was dealing with Wayne Dalton, um, our vendor, right, the vendor lady, let's just say, she would wine and dine me, did a phenomenal job, phenomenal. And I remember I finally got, I started understanding how the algorithms worked, right? How the matrix worked. And so I'm like, do you make commission? And she's like, no. She's like, I'm hourly. And I'm like, so you don't make no commission off of helping me and all this stuff. And I think you rightfully should, you know. And she's like, no, I get hourly. She's like, your sales lady does. And I said, and it was kind of a funny joke. I said, well, who's that? And she told me who it was. And I said, well, you tell her next time you see her. I said, Dave with Affordable Door and Gate wants a cookie. And I kid you, probably about now, maybe a week or two later or something like that. She was in the area. I wasn't at the shop. I was out working. I get a call from one of the guys or something at the shop. And it might have been the secretary. I can't remember. And I think it was in between when we kind of had a secretary on and off. And somebody called me though and said, hey, somebody stopped by here and left you a cookie. And I knew instantly. I said, I'll be darned. Somebody brought me a freaking cookie. So that lady's making commission. This lady I've never even talked to, right? Their sales lady. And the one that's answering the phone is doing everything under the sun, taking phenomenal good care of us. And but that's the things you got to learn. You got to learn where, when I was dealing with Clopay had a gentleman that answered, and he was probably the worst of the worst. I mean, he how do you explain it? Like, he's one of those guys that's been doing it so long that he's like, I've been here for 25 years. I hate my life. Like, he'd answer, blah, 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 Clopay. Who's this? Blah, blah, Clopay. Oh, okay. So hey, my customer's looking for a door. We're looking for something that's like a steel back. They're looking for like an R12. What model? I mean, like, no help. No help. Like, he was the type, you call him, you tell him exactly what you want. You don't fluff around. You want 12-inch radius. Do you want torsion spring? You want two springs? You want one spring? You want seal? What kind of opener? Like, there was no fluff with this guy. Like, you couldn't be like, well, they want a 2-inch thick door and they want 12 R12 or more. Oh, okay. Shh, shh, shh. Let me look. Oh, you know what? The 8400 looks like 8412 or something. That looks like that'd probably be a good model. It's got 14R value. It's 2-inch thick. A lot of people buy it. It's a good door. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. What kind of radius would you like? It's either got 12, 15, or 32 or 10, or let's do 15. Not, no. So that's why it's important to find somebody that works with you that fits. Because otherwise it's miserable working with whoever, you know. And when you're starting out, you just gotta. It's a learning curve. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be afraid to, like, nowadays. Shoot, if I was just starting out, I'd be using the box store. I'd be like in there, just snagging me an opener, walking out all happy, And it'd be like, I get there to the customer, it doesn't work. I'd be sitting there like, bam, 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 beating it up. God darn opener. Oh well, throw it back in the box. Got the receipt. Dun, 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 go back, right? Hand it back to him. Give me another one. Hopefully you don't have that kind of problem, but. No, give me the time. What's this guy here? Has somebody going? Says no one will give me the time of day around here. Investa. See, good old Service Spring, taking care of you. Let's see. Never heard of Investa. It's not to be rude, but Morgan, are you male or female? Let's see here. Male. Evan's got Morgan. If you spread the word on social media, probably they'll come to you. So I've gotten a couple calls to do commercial jobs, but I'm not ready to do them yet. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, because even at one time, like with LiftMaster, we had an old guy and he was kind of real hard to get in with. I had kind of like, twist his leg around and stuff like that. And he finally got us in. So we were a LiftMaster a vendor dealer. We could buy direct from LiftMaster. And then he, I don't know, 4 years, 5, 6, 8 years later, whatever, he left. And then there was a new kid. And I ain't gonna lie, I had a really hard time respecting the new kid. He came in the shop one time. Remember, he had these like new photo eyes for like gates or something. He's like showing it to me, and I'm just like, I'm like, boy, I'm like, you better get those out of here. I was like, we live up here in Michigan, and these were built out in California. These will not survive in Michigan with the snowstorms and crap we have. These are junk. He's like, yeah, but I think you really like them. And I'm just like, not interested. Like, why did you come to me? Like, we're having, like, I'd let him know, I said, we're having circuit board problems. And I'm just like, can we just get circuit boards to start working, please? Dun, dun, dun. But his name was Dennis at Liftmaster. He was the guy that always told me. He told me one time. He says we were sitting in a conference or something, killing time, and he's like, why they make those gears out of plastic? And I'm like, well, I don't know. He's like, the one's softer, and I'm like, so you never changed the one, do you? And I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, we built them that way. He goes, we get you. He goes, you think about it. He goes, we get you a lot of work, don't we? He says, with those, you think about with the jobs you do and all. And I'm like, so could you make them better? Like, but he was just saying, he said, why those are still around? And I was like, oh, he says, because they work. And I'm thinking, that's right. They do work. And that was kind of before Liftmaster started doing a whole bunch of their craziness. Now, I don't know if they got bought out. I'm sure they got bought out by that time. And now it's a bunch of bean counters. No mail says my wife is also named Morgan, though. That's funny. My ex-wife, her last name was one letter different. Yeah, that was always weird being at the bank. What's your last name? It's one letter different. Oh, Morgan Invicta sold by Service Spray. Okay, use her to get your foot in as a female dealer. Ooh, I see what Rich is trying to. He's trying to change it up. Oh, look at Evan's got on here. He says, I sent the 405 signal. Oh man. Rusty's guy said, I'm fighting mosquitoes down here. Son of a gun, man. You just can't win. It's either snow or it's mosquitoes. I don't know what's worse. I think I might take the snow, honestly. God, mosquitoes are so annoying sometimes, especially when they get in your ear. Oh, we've had a few of those last year. They sneak in the house. I think they're getting smaller so they can sneak through the um uh, what do you call it? The screen on the window. The little boogers, man. Oh, wake you right up in the middle of the night. Evan says, I seen someone put up one of those Chamberlain camera keypads, wondering how long it will last when it gets colder. Yeah, I wonder what kind of batteries they have in there. What kind of batteries are running on them. Dun, dun, dun. Rusty's guy says, Morgan, how much garage door experience do you have before you started the door company, and with what brand of door? Ooh, good questions. Good questions. Ta-da. Evan says, I thought mosquitoes were an American and Canadian pest. Oh man, I tell you what, they're gnarly. And then they got all that hype up, right? On how they spread all this stuff, which I'm not saying they don't, but I just man, they make them sound like you can't go outside, they're gonna kill you, you know. Let's see here. Jump over on this for a second. Make sure I check the old messages because no, we're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good. Let's see. What time is it? 6 something? We'll go about maybe 6:15 or so. 6:15, 6:30. We'll see how it goes. Bug spray don't protect me. Oh, what I have found is I don't have it, but it's the orange cans. It's probably made by I don't know who makes the stuff, but it smells good. Man, I like that stuff. I don't mind dosing myself in some of that smells good. Otherwise, regular bug spray, God, that stuff stinks. Get some of that though on the truck, or if you're up cutting grass or something. Oh man, that stuff just got a nice citrus smell to it. Works pretty good. I like that stuff. I told myself that's all I'm gonna buy was that stuff because at least you smell like it's like whatever, just smells better. The other stuff's junk. Evan, did you order those springs for that customer that you said's like 2 or 3 minutes away? Are you getting them? Where are you getting them from too? You getting them through that online dealer, or you should. I just wonder too if you're checking Amazon. I'm just always curious of what you can get. Where the limit is with Amazon. They seem like they carry quite a few stock springs, but I know if you get some odd ones, they get off. Dun, dun. And then Tony never asked me or told me anything about some of the. I know he's adding $100. Tony, are you ordering those doors? Are you getting the doors from Menards with Easy Set or with extension springs? Because I'm assuming you've picked up some 16x7s. Do, do, do. Do. Rusty says I was doing phone quotes today. They call me from the office with info. He says 3 different calls for doors prices. So I worked hard today. Son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. Yeah, it's hard, man. I've always found it's like excuse me, when you do garage doors, especially when you're in the business, it's almost impossible to ever leave and go on like a real leave vacation. You know what I mean? Like unless you leave the phone behind, say, look, I'm not bringing my phone. Like it's not going to happen. You're on your own. It's tough because you always got stuff in the pipeline that there's certain things they need answers for. That is one thing I've noticed. Evan says, yes, I ordered them online. I'm nervous to try the Amazon Spring since they are so cheap. Well, I don't know if you. So I guess the reason I'm kind of curious is because Mr. Caleb did it, and they came in a different. He said the credit card he entered in wrong, so he had to re-enter the credit card, and it's like on Amazon, like they give you like that chart below where you can click like different sizes. So I don't know if he re-clicked. So I don't know if it was an oops on his part or if it was an oops on Amazon part. But I think he was looking for like 225 wire, and they came in like 243. Uh, so I'm just kind of curious. Now I ordered some, didn't have no problem. But like I said, I mean, I don't know, man. It's more profit in the pocket. So, um, I don't know anything about springs that are, you know, and like I said, if I was to do it, I might even start writing myself some little love notes like up on the header. So in the future, if you keep doing this, you might go back and you're like, oh my gosh, these say let's do is it Amazon? So AZ or something, or maybe you just put Amazon or something like that, or a little code, that you knew was what and so like if you go back and it's like only like 5 years later, you're like, oh my gosh, these springs aren't lasting. Definitely don't buy Amazon springs no more. Rusty says, Evan, he says, who cares? He says, are you putting a warranty on it? That's true. That's true. Most people don't live in their house, was it more than like 5 years? So, I mean, yeah, as long as it shows up the right size, uh, you know, I've never had any problems with springs across the board. Not saying you can't. I know some people even bash the galvanized springs. Um, I don't particularly like them. Um, I think they do have maybe a little bit shorter life cycle, but I just the cold rolled or whatever it is, hot dipped springs are springs are springs. They're just buying them in bulk. I mean, what else do we buy from Amazon that's oh, what was it? Like I just bought a Milwaukee, the 12 amp battery. It came in actually, it was the Forge. It was wrong. It wasn't wrong. It was just the wife trying to know. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like you got the Forge. I'm like, those things cost even more. I was like, so what was this, like 250? She was like, "Oh," I was like, "It's 198." I'm like, "198?" I'm like, "Whoa." I'm like, "That's pretty cheap compared to, anything I looked online or even our local, dealer." So, you gotta watch some of the stuff. Sometimes it can be counterfeit, but it was all good. It's charging away. I think I lost one on my long distance, Rusty, are we gonna say you're the one that coined the phrase for long distant loser? I got the I wanna make a t-shirt, it's gonna say it's gonna have the SOS one, we're gonna do 5 Mile Famous. Are you 5 Mile Famous or are you a long distant loser by Rusty? I got a couple for you that's coming out eventually because I was a long distance loser. Do 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 do. Nervous, a cheap. He says, Evan, Rusty, high warranty on them. Evan, who cares? Put a warranty. Evan, probably still last. Rusty says probably still last year. I would think so. I bet they're going to get 3 to 5 years. I mean, if they're somehow compromised, but it's just one of those things that I don't. I'm not a spring expert, obviously, or by any means, but I don't know what you could do to like not make them work, you know, or not last as long. Do 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 do. Rusty or he goes, Evan says, Rusty, I said, I don't need extra winding bars every time I order springs. That's okay. What you do is you give them away. You give them away or you sell them. You can sell them on marketplace or you can scrap them. Scrap metal, baby, adds up. I always think like, you drink pop and stuff in the cans. I've always thought about over the years, I'm like, I should save all my pop cans over all the years, right? Because one day those things will probably be worth more than the 10 cents they give you. Um, Maybe not, but could you imagine like somebody find like a whole attic full of aluminum pop cans? You're like, we're rich. I don't know what you get, but future is never. It's wasn't it? Yeah, because it wasn't too long when the panhandling demic was going on. They were telling you like return your pop cans. The vendors can't get the aluminum or something. I don't know what's going on. Dun, 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 dun. What you got? What you got? If they cost less and include the bars, then resell the bars or throw them away. That's right. That's right. Throw them away. Evan says buy extreme openers, Rusty. They are cheaper. That's under the belt, man. We didn't say go that far. Uh, says if that's the market you're trying to get. Yeah, I think it's kind of like how do I envision it? Kind of reminds me of like I always go back to the fork, right? A fork is kind of a fork. It could have 3 prongs, it might have 4 prongs. It's a fork. So, but if one's a pretty good savings and you can you can capitalize more on it, the profit, then I would say I would go for it until you find a problem, until you find out, oh my gosh, they don't deliver, or oh my gosh, this is the second time they're the wrong size. Um, it's kind of like for the most part, like even like nylon rollers, um, they're pretty much all the same. You know what I mean? It's like as long as they got the bearings in them. I've had the black ones, I've had the white ones. There's only one roller out there, the metal roller. It's got that little shaft or the little bearings. Those ones have prematurely over time worn out on me. But for the most part, rollers are kind of rollers. It's just whoever can buy the biggest bulk. That's why people shop at Walmart. I mean, you're buying the same products. It's just they can buy in bulk. They can get it for a cheaper price, and that's the world we live in. I'm trying to sell quality, Rusty. Well, I don't know how you tell what a quality spring is over a non-quality spring. I don't think there's some little person in the back that's putting little grind marks in the spring, right? To make it prematurely break because they know in their head that when it does break, they're gonna get more sales out of it because yeah, like they're gonna come back to you. Yeah, right. Mm. Salmon Springs or your ones you buy from a dealer are most likely made in the same Chinese factory. Probably. Um, I'll test them on my own door first, he says, before I sell them to someone else. Yeah, like I said, if it's as long as it's like the 2 mile person, and that's why, like I said, it's kind of like obviously I'm not saying do it right, but that's why if you got a good CRM system or you got a good way to keep notes, if you made notes on it, that would be right there where I'd beta test it, right? Um, I'd start getting them out there, close ones, and that's what I used to do. And I did a lot with affordable door and gate, like openers. We used to do, we did some linear commercial openers. I was like, yeah, I've never really installed these, and there's some features I like, but I just, I'm not going to install these far away. So we did a job that's literally 2 minutes down the road from the shop, and we installed them. Now, the technicians that installed the doors installed them too tight, but still the opener started having problems. There was stuff that was just malfunctioning with them. They were very problematic. So we put them on this building. We put them on like, I don't know, I think there was 8 or 12 doors there. And it was like, nope, we're good. We're not going to buy these anymore. This was our beta test. Sorry about your luck, customer. You were looking for low bid. You got low bid. You got the product. We fixed it for as long as we could. But after it got like out of like 3 years, we were like, yeah, we're not covering this, because the company would um, send us parts and stuff like that. So we worked with them because we kind of knew, and it was right down the road, so it was an easy slam dunk. But it was a good learning experience. It was like, no, we're not doing these ones anymore. But when it comes to the ones that are all the 30 to 45 minutes to an hour away, hell no, we're going with premium. Like we're not screwing around. We're going with either LiftMaster, or we're going with Genie, or we're going with this. Like we can't screw around with this. Do 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 do. Rusty says you need to research and development center in your garage, Tony. We'll send you Invecta parts to test against the Clopay. Yeah, I forget. I think it was. I think his name's Ron. I can't remember for sure. He reached out to me. He was actually working at a spring manufacturer. Let me see if I can find his message real quick here. If it shows up, I might be buried deep. It's been pretty busy on the old hotline. Oh, nice. So funny maker. Oh, right here. Where did I say this was? Is it Piqua, Ohio? Piqua. I guess it's called IDC. IDC says they make springs for Clopay. So he was literally working there, and they had like a little test thing. I don't know if this will show up. Maybe I can do it. Um, let's see here. How do we do this? Close. See if I can play this. So let's see if it goes bigger. Oh, it does. Sweet. Oh, is it going to show? So they're testing the springs there. I don't know if actually one of those springs breaks. He was saying the lady there still jumps every time the spring breaks. They test them. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't even know that place existed. So there's all kinds of stuff out there. People are making them all. Like I said, even from the shop. I guess the company that makes the machines, I don't know if it makes all the machines. I assume not just a certain kind of machine. They make a machine that'll make garage door springs. So that's pretty interesting too. But like I said, I've still across the board have never had anybody reach out to me. I've never seen it myself personally. I've seen springs for every darn manufacturer, it seems like, but I've never had any that broke prematurely. There was that one guy that one time that tried calling me out, but when he was counting the doors, he was off. He was the next bay over, and he was a commercial customer, and it was within under a year. He's like, you need to come out here and change these springs. He's like, you just did them. And I'm like, bull crap. Like, there's no way. And we went out there, started looking at it, said, yeah, we're not covering this. I was like, those springs, I said, next to it, I said, we changed those, obviously. I said, those are brand new. I said, but these ones, I said, no. He come back and apologized. Evan says, my problem with a company selling the Amazon springs is they brag about the tools that they also sell being cheap, which usually means crap. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I installed some. I installed, what was it? I installed some Amazon ones, and I I didn't know my parents because I'm cheap. Don't tell them. And those ones have been working fine. There's no difference. They didn't feel different. They didn't smell different. You know, they've been working just fine. Had even the goofy bars, right? I did a little unboxing, right? And the gloves. Gloves, I don't know what to really do with the gloves, but you can always give them away for Christmas presents. uh, I've never seen a torsion spring break in under a year. Same here. Same here. And like I said, I've dealt with many different, and it's, and the thing is, out of, for me, I mean, Rusty, you can tell, or Tony or Rich B. I mean, has anybody experienced? I mean, it's out of my 18 plus years, I've never went to a garage and that goddamn garage door guy replaced his door 3 years ago, and he wouldn't answer his phone. I just don't see it. Even the galvanized springs still last 5, 8, 10, 15 years. It all depends on how much they're using the door. But like I said, most people, they don't say nothing. I mean, if they got 3, 5 years out of it, they don't know. They just call you and go, come fix my door. Come fix my door. My car's trapped. Dun, 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 dun. Test them on. Need you research? What's this guy? My proud never seen. Says, what's this? The off bug spray is what Rusty, or I'm sorry, Rich B's got. Is that what works? Morgan says, Rusty's, I've seen less than 2 years experience. Okay. I have less than 2 years experience total. Since I was working for overhead door company, then the last 18 months, CHI, Rainer and Clopay mostly, says some Safeway, some North Central. Oh, North Central. Rich's guy, he said he would get them with extension springs and convert them. Oh, is that what he said, Mr. Rich? Did I miss it? I'm sorry if I missed it, Tony. Morgan says, I also have a bachelor's degree in chemistry, physics, and math. I have a good understanding of what's going on, plus farm experience. Nice. Rusty says, Morgan, have you ever went directly to each of those manufacturers and introduced yourself, talked to them about your experience and products, let them know you would like to partner with them? Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, you know. And then it's like, I feel like we should have like that. I feel like we should have that disclaimer a little bit. It's kind of like one of those things. Like for Morgan, what do you, uh, sometimes what are you trying to, what are you trying to gain? You know what I mean? Because, um, for most part, if you're kind of doing it, on the side or whatever, it's, you know, it's uh it's a matter of just getting product. You know what I mean? You can get it from the lumber yards, you can get it from the box stores, you can get it online, you can I'd get with the old right here, the old Service Spring guys, you know. If you can get an account with them, if you got some people referenced you can put on there. Um, and all this stuff takes so much time. It takes so much time. Rusty's guy says, how many doors are you trying to install per week? Ooh, all kinds of goodies, huh? I'm gonna check this out real quick, see if this is no issues. Perfect. I'll probably upload a video for you guys. It's just some struts on a Clope door. How many doors? Yeah, it's kind of tough, you think about it. And it all depends, if you got family and you got kids and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. The more I look at it, I think I was talking to somebody about it. It just all depends on how fast you want to go, how much you want to grow, and how much headache you want to deal with and stress. Rich's guy says, been in my house for 28 years on my third set of springs. Not bad. Not bad. Morgan says, I've not gone to them directly. I've been busy putting indoors, uh, subbing. Yes, yes. Morgan, were you the one that was talking about like there's 7 subs and uh you're working for this guy that was gonna get out possibly? Because if I was just curious if that was you. I've not gone to them directly, busy put indoors. That says also Morgan, how much revenue did it jumped on me? Did your company produce last year? Installed probably 10 to 14 residential doors a week. That's a hell of a lot of doors. Yeah, I mean that's a lot. Do Morgan, then you should have no problem getting someone to work with you. Yeah, I guess it all depends a little bit. I'm a little bit it's kind of one of those things like if you're I don't know. I don't know. This is interesting. I usually install a door opener in 3 hours or less. Man, that's hustling, man. That's like busting your ass. Like I I don't know. I have to go with the rusty prices on this one, and I feel like I'd rather install one door and make damn good money, so I don't have to do a second door a day. Because that's what you kind of run into is that because I used to install 2 to 3 doors a day. Back when I first started out, but as you get older, you get more gray hairs. You realize that gets real old. Like you want to start spending some time with kids and family and wife or dogs, or go to the beach or whatever you like to do and enjoy. Um, but I understand that's how they, if you're a sub, that's kind of the more hey, you want to get 2 done because you can make more money. Um, do 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 do. Mm. Rich Bees guy says you have deposits on bottles and cans. Yeah, but we got to pay for it. We pay for it at the grocery store and then we get a return, bring it back. But we do. You guys are all chucking them in Lake Michigan. We're getting them over here. I usually install a door. Let's see. It says yes. He's selling now, and I'm right. Right to be what is it? Be out of work, huh? Well, that's not cool. Um, hmm. Rusty says, "I'm with you, Dave." Yeah, it's kind of the older we get, with the less we want to be out there. There's people that'll pay for it. You might have to go through 3 to find the one, but and then you can do a good quality. Take your time. I've noticed that even with affordable, like I said, there's so many times the guys are rushing through. You can't rush through crap and do a good job. It's just it normally just doesn't work that way unless you're just doing brand new construction all the time. You know what I mean? And it's a cookie cutter. Um, it's tough. Every situation is different. You got cars, you got garbage, you got stuff in the way. Do. Ooh, Rich says the Green Springs, the was it precision? Is it precision? Precision garage door. It says Warriors guys, I've done 6 doors in one day. Just racings that I've expect as close to perfection as possible. Yeah. Man, it's too bad, Morgan. You can't get with some of those. You know, did you ever whatever is going to happen with your the guy that owns it? I mean, is he just dissolving it? I mean, can you at least get the contacts? Can you get part of the contacts? Can you get with some of the builders? And say, hey, I'd still like to work for you. You're just gonna have to find a way to purchase the doors. Um, uh, like, is there like, or is it just he's selling to another company, or and he's or completely out type of thing? Doo-doo. Don't mind me. I'm just working on dinner. I sold 3 doors last year. Um, Subbed the rest, grossed 80K, opened in March. Well, so I mean, I sold. Do. I might need Rusty's help on this. This isn't making. I'm a little lost on this. This isn't making sense to me. I mean, I get that you subbed it out and stuff. So, mostly new construction. I charged a 4.5 labor for every door because you're not factoring in drive time. Yes. Pick up parts, unloading and paperwork. Yes. 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 I was doing that myself. Very, very, I'd always look at the job on most. I'd be like, it's gonna take us. It's probably like 2 to 3 hours, 4. You know what I mean? But when you look behind, especially if you're not like Mr. Rich B, and getting stuff delivered and put on your sawhorses. Hoorah! I'm proud of you. you know, you gotta deal with the truck at the shop. You gotta unload. You gotta store the crap. You gotta load the crap back up on a vehicle. You gotta deliver it. You gotta get rid of their garbage if you're taking that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Then you got cleanup. I don't know about you guys, but cleanup is a stinker. Let's just say I got so much time in cleanup. It's like I'm constantly thinking about you guys or just about life or what I'm doing wrong. But when I go to clean up, I made a hell of a mess. I got fast food in here I got to clean up. I got like apparel, especially if you're in the colder northern climates. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, "Hey, I gotta clean up I brought three different kind of shirts today. I brought 2 pairs of boots. I brought 3 pairs of socks. Um, I don't think I bring underwear, but maybe I should. Might crap my pants. I'm getting old. And so, I mean, it's just like when I clean up, by the time you look at it, like, you're like, well, realistically, I should wash the vehicle. It needs a wash. You don't have to do it every job, right? But it's just like you put your nuts and bolts where they need to go. You got extra wire. You got it just, oh my gosh, it's just so much. So much. You got to recharge the batteries. That's a big one, especially in this cold stuff. Like, I mean, batteries and bring a space heater or a torpedo heater. You got to get fuel, propane. Mm. Mostly new construction. I charge 4 point labor for every door because you're not factoring in, yes, that stuff. Revenue is on top. Subtract cost of goods, materials, and you're left with gross profit before you pay your employees, overhead, owner pay, taxes. Oh, taxes and business to keep some in the bank. After that, it's net profit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. It's there's a lot that goes into it. Like I said, I got spanked many, many years ago, and I actually, made more money doing less. That was the year that we did over the million, in sales. And I was just like, I went down there looking at that top line, right, from QuickBooks, your profit and loss statement. I was like, yeah, we did over a million in sales. Woohoo. You know, and that was the year I remember I gave it everything I could. I killed myself, absolutely killed myself. I mean, guys would be leaving at 4 or 5, 6 o'clock. Hey man, I gotta go. I can't do these last 2 service calls. Get out of the way. I'll do it. And I would do them and stuff like that. I mean, just late hours, early mornings. And at the end of the whole end of it, you're dealing with your accountant and everything, and they're like, "Oh, you got yeah, I seen that. Yeah, you made 30, you made 30 net." And I'm going, yeah. I go, but I only got 16 in the bank account. I'm like, where's my 30? Well, that's what it says you made. That's what you got to pay taxes on. And I'm like, and I'm going around looking at all my trucks, they got like worn out tires and back windows are smashed out and, not deliberately, just angle iron or something punctured them or something, and I'm like, these trucks all got over like 200,000 miles on them. And I'm going, we can't even buy a new truck. All that hard work everybody did, including myself and everybody, the whole team. And I'm thinking we can't even buy a damn new truck. But this is ridiculous. So just because you're busy doesn't mean you're profitable. That's the takeaway. That's why I don't even like when I'm around. This one guy, guess what he did with his business? He sold his business, right? But he was a fence guy, and he always would be around me, and he'd be like, "Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave." He was a hell of a salesman, nice guy, nice guy. But you busy? You guys busy? Oh my gosh, we're swamped, And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad you're swamped. You're busy, real busy. But are you profitable? Because I'd rather be profitable than busy. That's just me. So I don't even like it sometimes. I know it's a normal thing, right? It's like the weather, but you guys busy? Busy? Or are you profitable? I say that kind of loosely, right? Because obviously everybody, there's different times for it. But when I meet them in person, and it's like, man, we're busy. Good, good. Are you profitable? After that, it's Ned. Rusty says, so he isn't charging enough if he did that many doors and grossed 80. That's why Rusty's here. He's our accountant. Let's see here. I sold 3 doors last year. Sold the rest. Opened in March. I knew something's going on. Charging off if he did that many doors and getting grossed 80. Says Morgan, I net 22. Filled my truck with tools, ladders, racks, and only about 10K taxes, wages, cost, goods sold. Huh. I was only making 30 per hours for the first 3 months. During my training period, probably made 55 the last 6. I know. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's pretty good money then. Says you're doing great, Morgan. He says, I have been doing it for 20 years and finally last year started charging enough. Yes. Yes. Amen to that. Yeah. Morgan, it sounds like more or less you gotta get, if you could start getting some of these, builders, and I don't know why, if the other company's dissolving, why you couldn't mention to the builders so they got your number and stuff like that, and you could, and like I said, you know, what's kind of weird is, like, I think we have this illusion sometimes that the builder, like, oh my gosh, they don't know who, like, they got people, man. You're not their only person. Like, they know people. They probably got 3 people lined up behind you, and they know where to get doors and stuff like that. So there's all these options where you can tell them, say, hey, buy the doors, and I'll charge you labor to install or whatever you want to do. And honestly, if you've been doing so many doors, you got experience, and if you've subbed, how all that kind of stuff works. So it's a matter of really just kind of the sales part of it. And, the dealers, like, dealer, you can get anywhere. Like I said, go to the back stores for right now, figure it out, as you go, or like Rusty said, go meet directly or call them. And, um, do 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 do. Doing grace. Rusty's listens to the guy who is on vacation. What to charge, right? We appreciate it. I appreciate it, Rusty. Says I really want my phone. Morgan says I really want my phone to ring. Oh, man, I know how that goes. That's why I'm always telling people that's probably your biggest, a lot of people starting out, that's your biggest challenge. But it's one of those things. It's easy to say, um, especially when you've been many years in the business, because now it's like you're like, no more phone ringing, no. There's certain ones you want to capture, certain ones, but I've been at that part where it's just like, oh my, 2 phones up on both ears. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So sometimes, Be careful what you wish for. But I get it. I get it. You just got to be good at selecting. That's the big thing. I wasn't good. I just took it all. And so you got to be able to, I think there's a lot of power in saying no, just when to say no and say no right from the get go. Just, this is not going to work. We're not a good fit. I'm sorry. You probably want to call this person, recommend whoever. No can help out a lot. Because that was my problem. That one year, like I said, we did everything. We did loads, we did all the customers, and we turned out with like no money. And that's because we weren't charging enough. We weren't charging enough. We should have said no on certain jobs. It happens to all of us. Evan, so far, I've had 3 jobs this week. Dang, hoorah. Go, Evan. That's awesome. Evan, have we talked about or have you mentioned what recently has been where you think where your leads are coming from? I can't think right off the top of my head. If it's kind of well, I know you're kind of on top of the Google somehow. So Google's important. Sometimes if you got to get Google reviews, um, and I was just listening to somebody, I forget who it was, and they were talking about go do free stuff. You know what I mean? If you got the time, go do free like lube, do free preventative maintenance inspection, right? And I would totally agree. If you got nothing to do and you are hungry, you got to get your ass off the couch and get out there and just do something. Get the truck moving, get in the parking lot, get in the stores, get to a customer, put on Marketplace, put on Nextdoor, um, put on Facebook, whatever. Say, hey, I'm doing it. I book up pretty fast, so you got to be willing to wait a little bit, maybe, or whatever, however you want to word it, but I'm doing free preventative maintenance. And you would be surprised that when you're out there, I don't know what it is about the algorithm, the matrix that we live in. All of a sudden, the phone will ring or the neighbor person will walk over. Oh, I just wanted to check on you, Jan. I seen a car over here that I recognize. And oh yeah, he's just doing, well, hey, will you come over to mine? You know what? My opener's been acting up, blah, blah, blah. You go over there, it turns into, what? I think I'd like to replace this. Well, sure, Mr. Customer. If you want, you could actually just go purchase one from the store and I'll charge you whatever, $200, $400 labor to install it. I could probably get it in the schedule for you tomorrow if you'd like. Or I got my own vendor. I can go to the lumberyard. I can call. I can give you a quote tonight. Whatever. But there's just something about getting out there that opens up. I don't know what it is, but it just starts happening. Morgan says, I have bought every marketing thing I can think of. I'm trying to get into Google, but they keep denying me and giving me the runaround. Yeah, Google can be a little goofy lately. They've gotten kind of strict. Morgan, from my experience, Yelp was a waste of money, which I would probably confirm that as well, because I hear nothing good about really Yelp. I hear people get on there organically, which is fine, but just if you try to do Yelp. What state are you located? Or it says I spent $13,883, so $1,383 on marketing. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, Evan says the one I did on Monday, this broken spring I'm working on, I have been referrals. Ooh, from my first client and my coworker who knew I was running my own business. Nice, nice. See, spreading the word. Evan has a golden opportunity to be the top 3 on Google as a new business. Yeah, Evan's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. I'm proud of you, Evan. You're doing good. Rusty says, Morgan, do you have signs on your vehicle? Ooh, do you have signs on your vehicle? It says again, that's vehicles. Yeah, I mean, if you're spending, that's probably a good one actually. Cause now I think of it, I go, if Morgan's spending like 13 on marketing, maybe a month, or, I sit there and go, I'd save that money for a couple times. I'd plaster a vehicle, I'd wrap a vehicle. because was it desperate times, desperate measures. And so I'm gonna get like I'm gonna be in people's faces. Says yes, I do. Funny enough, my biggest sales was before I had decals. That never fails, right? You do something, now it's like where's all the money? It should be just pouring in. Professionally done as well. Nice, nice. Yard, not the yard. Yeah, yard signs, right? Bandit signs. Those can be pretty beneficial too. They don't cost too much money. I've had pretty good luck with those because, like I said, we kind of live in, I just my this is just my thoughts. We live in this world of so much digital that it's almost like we can't even feel anymore, right? We're just so bombarded by digital, digital, digital. Where like if I see signs, like for me, even like doing rentals and stuff, I'm like, oh, that guy does power washing. Well, obviously he's local. I don't even have to think about it. He's local. I mean, somebody put a sign out. It's a local number too. More than likely, I can't say 100%. It's local. Like I go on Google right now. I was checking like doing uh the creeper stock. I was checking I wonder who's in the garage door business around here. And I was checking and I was like, I never noticed this one before, right? And then I was like, what's this one? So I click on it, right? First thing, the area code is off. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this ain't even a local company. So I'm not even gonna waste my time dealing with this crap. You know, Most of them are just not even local. For the top local three, Google, whatever, something. I don't know. So I decided, yeah, I ain't using these guys. Mm, Professional done as well. They waved me down with no decals. Huh? That's weird. I got people always calling me because I was like speeding or I was passing. I was hungry, man. I had to make that money. They call. I don't know if you're the one driving or if you're in the office, but there's this black truck. Yeah, what about it? Um, Only thing I've spent money on so far is my website and Google Business profile, along with business cards and clothing. Nice, nice. Come on, Evan. I want to see a picture of that clothing, man. You get a sweater or something made? You got to. We'll swap. I want to get some more made. We'll swap. Get that channel going and stuff. We'll send each other. I want an Evans garage door hoodie. Need extra large. Yeah, extra large. That's how I like my Happy Meals. Evan, have you been recording everything and saving receipts? As I've been saving receipts. Good, 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 good. Put them in an envelope, whatever you got to do. File them. Got just the t-shirts. What a cheap booger. The hat with the crappy decal. Oh shoot, man. Send me a picture of that. I want to see that. I remember all my stuff when I started out. Like I said, this started. I remember we were on like a Microsoft DOS computer. You can barely see it with the light here. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. This 80. And I remember the check. I remember my business partner at the time. The check came from like we were trying to do like a Nike, like the Nike check. So we did like AD and like a check. And I remember we like scribbled it on the computer, which was really tough. I don't even know how he did it. I think he had like hold the mouse. We made up the decal and then it just always kind of stuck. And it wouldn't be my first um, thing nowadays, but it works. I might try to do something more with like gears or so. I don't know. Who knows? You just got to kind of go with something, stick with something. Mm, what's this say here? Oops, no, bouncing all over the place. Rusty says you need to act like you are a real business in case the government comes knocking. He says I would record all sales too. Yeah, you got your little handy scratch book. It's all there. It's all there. It's all good. I'm working on getting my insurance and licensing. You have to let me know too, Evan, what they charge. I'm curious if you're doing like general liability or all that jazz. And for licensing, is it just your township one, or is it what do you got to do a builder's license or something? all that good stuff. We'll go to about 7. We'll do 7 o'clock. Good questions, by the way, Morgan. Appreciate it. I'm glad there's some guys here helping too. Appreciate you guys helping with anything we can do to help this wonderful person make some money. Make some money. It's tough, man. It's tough until you get that. It's like that snowball, right? It's like it starts real small, and then once you get it going, oh my gosh, and it gets bigger and bigger, and then you're like, stop! It's too big. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to get a front end loader to move this thing around. And then there's all kinds of complexity that comes with that stuff too. But it's a challenge. I know. We might see a little bump sometimes this time of year with tax return money coming back. We sometimes will see a little bloop bump. Like we got this little bit nicer weather, so sometimes you'll get like a little bump in that too. People are like, "It's spring," and it's like, "No, it's not." Then it's like, "It's winter," and they close back down. It just all bounces around until we get to that spring. But I don't know, man. I'm curious. I mean, Mr. Trump is making a lot of moves. I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what to think. It's just there's so many moves being made. I like them, but I'm also like, wow, wow. Can we take this big a jolt? I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, he's only really there for 3 years, right? You always get the lame duck year that they just kind of sit back. So he's attacking hard though. So we'll see. Has anybody seen the ice in person deporting anybody? I'm just curious. I keep hearing about it. I keep hearing there's a city around us that wants to make a sanctuary city. Um, Man, I don't know. Then I was thinking if they're getting rid of the food stamps and all that stuff or reducing it, at least not getting rid of it, maybe that's going to bring more people to the table to work. So that's kind of the whole idea, right? The tariffs that'll work good because there's going to be more jobs and there's more Americans that are going to work because they're not getting so many handouts. And then if there's not so many illegals, let's just say, there's going to be there's more opportunity for the Americans, or I don't know. Pretty crazy. Morgan, thank you, everybody. He says, I'm just trying to keep my family fed. Oh, I get that. 4 kids, 2 dogs, 1 cat. Oh, yeah. Those things eat a lot. 4 kids, man, those showers and bath stuff. Ooh, man, that adds up too. And he is as much as all of them, he says, combined. I get that. Morgan, how is the company you're subbing for getting so much work? You mentioned buying his business. Is that still a plan? Morgan says, I don't have the funds. I was hoping he would wait a year or 2, and I could finance it, but right now it's out of the question. He has been working for less for 40 years. Yeah, that's a normal thing. That's a normal thing right there. That's why I tell a lot of you guys, anybody that's doing, I really believe that could happen to us, all of us, and that's why I've put some eggs in the real estate area. You know what I mean? Because that's more long-term wealth. I don't get the volatility like I do in the garage door business. What was that I just heard the other day? That's an active cash flow versus more of a passive cash flow. And so I try to encourage a lot of people. Like I said, if you can get the money and you don't mind risk and some headaches and some phone calls and stuff like that, but if you're doing business is already that way, get into some real estate. Like I said, it's a different animal. You're on the other side. You can contract stuff. You're not always the one chasing. You're not always the one bidding. No, you're getting the biz now, and to get stuff fixed or done. And then you got people that are paying down your mortgage and your tenants, and there's all kinds of different avenues you can go down that road. So, but I get it. We all have to make the active cash flow while we're still kind of young, but hopefully we invest it wisely. So, I mean, I know one thing, Morgan, I'd be talking to that owner. I'd be like, dude, like, you know, I'd be really hardcore being like, hey, like, what do I need to do? Because he might have a soft spot in his heart. I know I would if I was doing something like that. I'd be like, dude, like, especially if you're already subs, like, I'd already be just, I'd just be like, I'm going to give you this guy. I'm going to give you this guy. I think this is fair. Trying to divide it up. I'm going to make sure I recommend you. I'm going to, you know, like, because what's going to happen to his, or is he going to get somebody new? And they're just like, we're getting rid of it, bringing our own team in. Um, you know, don't have the funds right now. R says has been working. So how much does he want? 1.7. Dang, dang. Is he gonna get it? Is somebody gonna pay it? So does he have somebody lined up? Because these are very good points. You know what I mean? Because for one, if he's working out of his house, he's more likely not going to sell his house or the building or the property. So what do you got? What do you got? You got these customers that all know you. You know what I mean? So it just that might not be worth it. You know, a lot of people think their businesses are worth a way more than what they are. You know what I mean? Because it's most times built on the individual, on the person that runs it. They know them, they have a relationship, blah blah blah. They're uh, it's kind of like a captain of a ship. That's how I always think of it. Can it be done? Yes, but people, the crew might change, all that kind of stuff. Do-do-do-do. Says he's talking to two companies. The companies he's talking about right now is definitely planning on bringing in a team. Well, or is the owner I deal with trying to skew my mind into rising the value. I don't know what this last part, rising something that says the value. It's hard to say. Like I said, I honestly, how do you I don't know. It's hard, right? It's hard because the one thing we always have to remember, this would be good for Evan, even, or Caleb, is that you always have to remember you can't get too big for your britches, right? That's why you always want to leave your expenses as low as possible. You know, don't be buying the boat, the extra car, the hot rod, the Harley, because when these things happen, now you're trapped, right? And you're desperate. So you got to always make sure um, you leave room in there for this time to drift over. Because like I said, if somebody, and this thing is that the one thing you only have to worry about to some degree, right, is if you're a good person, good installer, not a thief, you do good work, all that kind of stuff. Like, where are you? Come over, come here, come here. Those are hard to find. So I mean, it's like you're gonna want to, like, the team would even still want to, maybe they want to bring you on and do hourly, and you can still do stuff on the side, and maybe you don't even have to work as hard. Um, maybe they go, you know what, we could still use you, or we'll sub you. It's I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know what I mean? Because um, unless it's like the red ribbon, but what do you got for that? Oh, you got customers? You know what I mean? They're not getting a building. You're not getting trucks. You're not getting tools. You're not getting a spring making machine. There's just a lot that goes into it. I don't know. He said, how much was last year's revenue, net profit? He may be right on or crazy. He said last year was 2.4. What is his EBITDA lookup? If you know, because this is an important factor when selling or buying a business. My account actually did his evaluation. Gotcha. But I forget, Morgan. You have to correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, there's There's no trucks going with it, right? There's no building going with it, like a massive building. I mean, we're talking not a pole barn. I mean, there's, you know, so I don't know. I don't know. Um, Sometimes that stuff can be real skewed. You know what I mean? Because I, I'm not saying no, but I don't know. I don't know. And the fact that I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of unknowns in there. I'm just in the unknown on this one. I really am because I just go, man. I couldn't leave. You know, I couldn't leave if I had subs like that. I couldn't leave my subs hanging, and then I couldn't. Um, you know, like I just, I don't know, without oh, he's got 20 trucks and he's got a building, he's got an established location, he's got docks, he's got a warehouse full of, I mean, it's huge. I mean, there's an Amish guy that has, what is it? I think it's got 3 properties up there in the old Amish land, 3 like 40 by 60s full of garage doors. You know what I mean? And I go, now that's got some value there. I mean, openers, doors stacked to the hills. I mean, the guy's just pumping stuff out the door. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, there's obviously some, you want some money, like, yeah, you got some products, you got some buildings. Yeah, you want to, but they're not going to sell. They're Amish, they all stick together. They're not doing none of that. Anywho, all right, I'm gonna jump off here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Stay tuned. I think I might have an upload yet tonight for you. Just a strut, just a little strut. We'll see how it goes. Anywho, make sure you keep your fingers. You guys take care. Maybe one truck, probably one lift, 5 trailers. He runs a pretty slim, probably most phone number dealership as well. Yeah, maybe 200K in materials. Maybe. But I definitely wish you the best, Morgan. Hope things work out. Like I said, keep me posted. Keep us posted. We'll see you on the next one, you guys. I'm gonna try to see if I can get some dinner. Yeah, it sold 2.4, subbed out 2.3. Ooh, 100. Ooh, talk to your account banker locally. Ooh, good call. Rusty's always on top of it. Thanks, Rusty. We'll see you guys later. I got to figure out how to turn this off. Over and out.